Welcome to this Zentangle Quickie. My name is Heather Hartwick Gladden. I'm a certified Zentangle teacher, and today we're going to take a look at the tangle Boomerangs from Teresa Clark. Now, this is a neat tangle in that she provides two tanglations, which is essentially a variation. So this is a tangle and tanglations on the tangle of Boomerang. Anyway, so I'm going to do my best here to show you quickly all three. In the description box, this is a grid tangle. I'm going to go ahead. I'm making sure that I didn't test my mic around here first. There we go. I'm just going to do a little 4 square for each of them. The step outs or instructions, for those that are, if you're new to Zentangle, that's what we mean by that, are in the description box, as well as other information and things like that. All right. Now, I'm going to start with her basic pattern. So this one, again, a grid pattern, and you can fill out the example that I'll share with you at the end. You can fill the space with the grid. The 4 square is just as a demonstration, and you'll get the idea. So we're going to start in the upper left. You can just pick a place to start, I suppose, on yours. And I'm going to draw diagonal lines. So in this leftmost box, I'm drawing a diagonal line with, I'm going to try with a little bit of a curve. If you can get a little curve, great. If not, that's okay too. I'm going to do my best. So a little bit of a curve coming up from the lower left to the upper right. Now in the box next to it, I'm going to do the opposite. I'm actually going to turn my tile so that way I can kind of get that same curve. And so I'm going from the, well, let's see if I'm looking at it straight here. We're going to mirror this, so we're going to go the opposite. So from the upper left to the lower right. It's like I can't say that when I'm looking at it the wrong direction. All right, and then below, we're going to do the same. So we're going to copy this exactly. All right, next, we're going to go from, so looking at the grid line here in the middle, we're going to go from the center-ish of that line. Now, this is, you could decide how much you want. After you've done it, of course, you can decide how wide you want this. But I found it easiest to go from the middle, and we're going to go to that same corner point. And then on the other side, same idea. And you can see we have a boomerang. And then we're going to do the same thing on the bottom. All right, there we have it. Next step is we're kind of going to do the opposite, but we're going to utilize the hollowbow technique. And so I'm going to start here. I'm going to start on the rightmost box and go backwards, just because that's how my brain works sometimes. All right, so I'm going from the lower left corner to the upper right. And then if you're not familiar with the hollowbow technique, what I'm going to do is, let's see if I can do it while I'm talking. I'm going to not draw over what I have here. I'm going to draw under it. And to do that, you essentially pick up your pen before you collide with it, pick it and move it along as if you're drawing, but you're not. And then put the pen down on the other side of this and then continue on. It's best to think of it in a continuous thought, like so, because otherwise then you could end up with, a little bit of a curve, a little bit of a curve, or a little disconnect. It's hard enough, when you do it in a continuous thought. Next, so then this box doing the opposite. So going from, if I'm looking at it this way, lower right to the upper left, but because I'm turning my tile. Like I said, it's not necessarily easy, but you see when it's a continuous thought, it just looks a little bit better. All right, duplicating that exactly on the bottom. All right, and then similar to what we did here, but we're doing it from the opposite side. We're going to go from the middle of the right side We're essentially kind of making a crisscross, but we're making a crisscross in this boomerang shape. So I'm going to go from the middle to that corner. And, okay, I don't know how I want to do it. I'm just going to move my hand here so that way you can see. And this way, oh, there we go. That way I can still have that curve for the most part in my hand. There we go. All right, and then again, the bottom is just the same. Moving off the camera there. I find this one sometimes it's hard to... This part gave me the most trouble when I first found this tangle online. And it was this part in particular that gave me the most trouble. So I found thinking, going from the middle to the corner, that helped when I was re-looking at this. And it's, it's pretty good. So there you can see we have, excuse me, we have these boomerangs. Now, the next step that she shows in this one, so you can decorate however you want. We'll just do this for instance. So we're just going to, and I'm starting this off here because I want to utilize a thicker pen, but the thicker pen is going to make a mess of this little corner here. So I wanted to get that in. All right, and then let's see. We'll use the 10. It's something new that we've gotten through Zentangle. I neglect to mention it on these videos, but if you need Zentangle supplies, I would love to have the support. If you click down below in the description to my website, you can see where on my website I have where you can get some Zentangle supplies. All right, and coloring. And of course, you could do different colors. Actually, in the end, I will share with you. Actually, I'm not quite done with it. I had a class on this tangle this morning, and I'm getting ready for another session of it. By the time I post this, they will both have been done, and where we talked about different ways you could decorate. So you could use any tangle. If you want to add color, you can of course add color. It's for these Zentangle quickies, at least for right now. Maybe I'll do another series working on black tiles or working on the Renaissance or the gray tile, something like that. For these, I just kind of like to keep it pure, and that is using black pen on white paper or tiles, as we call them, and then some shading. Well, I take that back, because there was one, I think it was the last one, last one or two, I did add some color. So, never mind what I just said. All right, so there we have it. And then you could add some shading as you see fit. And it's just a really lovely tangle, just like that. Now, that's one. Number two, so Tanglation, I called it Tanglation number 1, because this is the theme. And... okay, the second one, again, just going to do a 4 square so you get a good idea. And, well, that's a little uneven, but okay, whatever. It'll all work out. This one, we're going to do the diagonal lines first off, all in the same direction. So, I'm going to keep trying to add my little curve. And this will be a good test, so you'll see what happens when you don't draw your grid right. And that it will all end up okay, because there's no such thing as a mistake in Zentangle. All right, then we're going to draw. So essentially we're drawing, the top part and then the bottom part, in succession. So then we're going to go from the middle of the line. I like to go back to... Yes, all of a sudden I had to look and I'm like, yes, I am doing this right. And then back to that initial point there, same here, and same on the bottom. This one I probably could have just done one row and been fine with it. All right, now next step, we're going to go the opposite direction. So turn in my tile, same thing here, And then half, well, let me do all of that one step all at once. And then I will also have you note that when you come up with something that's like, oh, didn't like that, we kind of like to make a mental note, like I had right here. I'm like, oh, that looks kind of icky. You make a mental note, and then, okay, then we're going halfway and still to that point. There we go. This one is always easier because you can just line it right up. You don't have to decide where that is. But anyway, so make that mental note so that way you can go back when you're doing the decorating phase and decide if it's something that you want to color in, or will shading help it? Will coloring it, coloring or filling it in help it? That is up to you to decide. So then we have this way, and this one, I'm going to shade these front ones. So that's it. So this one, they're kind of overlapping, and that is another neat way. Gosh, I know I have to remember what we came up with. There was a third tangulation that we came up with. Now I can't remember what it was. I'll remember at some point, and we'll add it. Oh, I think I know what it was. And it was after the next one. Oh, actually, I don't even need to do that. So this one, just a simple coloring in again. And then also you'll see on the sample, you can do something with the background. This part is up to your creativity and imagination. Oh, and then when you go over, oh well. Then you just don't worry about it, is what we do. I'm shading in because I'm trying to hustle. All right, let's just get this looking good. Good as we can so that way you can see. It is neat to highlight one over the other because then that accentuates. I should just try one just as it is and do something with the shading because that would be fun. So there's that. So that's number 2. So we have just the boomerang, and then if you can picture, a spread of these in a larger grid, it's a neat effect. Now the last one that we're going to do is basically this is where the idea came. So it's basically going to be this, but we're going to flip this bottom one, and we'll just share that one. And then we thought, oh, could do this second one and flip it also, and that would look neat. So I'm gonna. Well, we'll see what time we have. Oh, we're not doing too bad. Well, maybe I'll give that a go as well. If my brain will work it out, because it's not that we kind of came up with on the fly and thought, oh, that's neat. I'll have to do a step up for it. All right. So again, this one. So we're going to take the. Well, I do have a separate step out. So this is Tangulation 2. And we're going to draw the curve line going up the one direction, right? And then we're mirroring it on the other side. Then, and then flipping the tile, we're going to mirror both of these sections. So we're doing it opposite. So like so, and like so. Now, I'm just going to stick to the side that I'm on. And it kind of, as we did here, I don't know if I can't see if that is in the screen or not. As we did in the first one, we're going to go from the opposite corner. So this would be the left corner, essentially, except I turned my tile. Oh, no, we're not. No, we're not. No, we're not. Got too excited and got ahead of myself. We have to do that, the middle line. You were probably yelling at the computer or whatever you're watching me on. No, wait, you're missing a step. Yes, you're right, I was. That was a test. All right, there we go. So then we have that middle line making our boomerangs. Now we're going to go the opposite direction. And I'm going to start this one here. And then we're making it opposite. Well, I'm not quite making that. And I'm going to do both sides here just because I am feeling the need to. And that's something that you can do, of course. You know, when we do these step outs, you know, we want to make sure that they're, you know, the step is understandable. So that way, you know, so a lot of times it's doing this, you know, the same step in all of the boxes and all of the areas, and then coming back and doing the next step. You can combine as you see fit. My only danger point sometimes is in that, you know, you can get lost in it. All right, and then this from the halfway point, boom, boom. There we go. And you know, I'm not gonna color this one because I want to try. Let's try this fourth one. All right. So this is the premiere Tangulation number 3. And at the time of this posting, I might not have that third tangulation done. So check back and in the description box, and we'll see it. All right. So this means, all right. So actually, I'm going to take these instructions. So this is essentially tangulation number 1. Yes. Okay. So on the top, we're going from lower left to the upper right. Same in both these boxes. Oh, you know what? Here's what might work good. Just to not be confused. We'll see. All right. I'm going to do the whole tangle on the top row. And then we'll do the bottom row. All right. And then the halfway point, coming back. Yep, and then it's the same thing on this side. I don't know why it throws me. It's because I'm like, wait, am I completing? Oh, yes, I am completing that. All right. Okay, so there's one. Now, we're going to essentially do the same thing, right, on this side. So, that was going from, so doing that initial line, same way. And then, like I said, I'm going to do the whole thing in each of the rows. And then we're doing it the opposite side. Curve line all the way down. Whoop. And then here. And see, as I go, whoop, then I go, whoop, that's the section I'm going to fill in. Kind of neat. You know, and then as I was doing, so that turns out rather neat. Now, actually, I'll just explain this with the example from earlier. So this one I did add some color because we wanted to have fun. And so you could, like I said, you could do the background also. And so on the background, let's see. Let me flip my step out here too, that you can see. So on the one step out for the tangulation number 2, we did nice lines, you know, in the forward boomerang. And what's nice about that is that it makes these grid lines disappear when you do something like that. So that's a really cool thing. And so I decided, well, hey, I'm going to change it up a bit. And so I'm going to do the background with that same notion. So I did the background, and I just did it in these 2. So I did, I filled up this little square. And so I went and aura'd this, this borderline here, and then this one here, and then I decided, I'm going to do it this way also. So it kind of gives almost like a wood floor pattern, sort of, but it makes those lines kind of disappear. Now, if I do it throughout, then it'll be even better. Also, did some dark on the outside, and this one, instead of using graphite, I ended up using a gray marker just to see what it would look like on the outsides, and it does because it kind of shades it, and it gives it, a boldness. And then also in these, I just added orbs, graduated orbs, and filled in the backgrounds, as a lot of times we do. And this is essentially the Tangle tipple, where we're filling in with orbs. And then I did something similar on the other side, where I aura'd the inside and filled it in, and then added orbs to either side. It was kind of small to do, but it still turned out kind of nice. It's not quite finished, but I just wanted to share that with you so you could get some other ideas. And then anything else, you can fill it with whatever you want, essentially. It's a really, really neat, fun tangle that has so many options. With that, let me leave you with one more. And I think because we have, like I said, I have this evening class, and then I think that's what I'm going to do for that. You could create, a border around, because like this is duplicated. You could get away with just doing one line. If you were doing this, where if you wanted to have have this look, then of course you just have to have two, a grid, that's 2 boxes deep at least. So anyway, yeah, I'm gonna leave that the way that was. So that was super fun. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, I appreciate any thumbs up, and if you want to leave comments, questions, those are much appreciated. I try to keep my eyes on those and answer them as I can. And again, in the description box are the step outs as well as ways to connect and have more Zentangle fun. So until then, I wish you happy tangling.